So I'm continuing this week with the whole information series in relation to why your eyebrows might not turn out as you might have hoped. And there's usually 5 reasons as to why that is. And this is for people who have no medical conditions and they come to us for beauty. And here's the 5 most common reasons. So I'm going to discuss all of those 5 today. So understanding the human skin is so important. It's the largest organ in our body. It has many functions, including retaining of heat, protection from invaders, blood transportation, and lots more. And it's a very unpredictable organ as it is. I think the human body is absolutely amazing, that we can actually injure it and it can repair itself, and we can knowingly injure it, which is what we do when we're doing permanent cosmetics, and that the cells in the skin literally remove the pigment. So the skin's natural healing process is to react to the tattooing in general as if there's been an invasion. So the skin responds to the healing by creating a new skin that's over the tattoo. And that's in the healing process, which takes 3 to 5 days. And that new skin then from week 2 to week 28 gets thinner and thinner and thinner as the whole 30 days proceeds. So that creates kind of a haze over the pigment. And that's why you come back twice, so that we can trick your body and drop in more pigment at step 2. Okay, so let's go through the top 5. So number 1, the client didn't follow the very simple aftercare as we asked. And there's a certain amount of aftercare that we expect and advise you to do. And it is very detailed and there's no room for error and so on. But very occasionally, clients do not adhere to our very simple aftercare. And they'll go to the gym sooner than they want, than we ask. And they'll go see swimming sooner, or pool swimming, or go into the jacuzzi sooner than we ask, or they go on a sun holiday straight after having the eyebrow microblading done. These are all things that we ask you not to do. So why do it? Okay, number 2, your skin wasn't in the best of health. So we do an assessment of your skin to see which pigments we are going to use on your skin. However, if you have active acne, or if you have eczema, psoriasis, I've dealt with all of this before, or if it so happens that your skin is just not in a position to receive it, or if you have an autoimmune disease, or if you have poor health, your skin is not in the best position to be able to receive the pigment as you might like or we might like, and that is because it's suffering as a result of some other body issues that are going on in your body, and we're asking too much of it to now receive the pigment of a tattoo. And very occasionally our body will just rebel and it will say, enough already, I've got too much going on. So you need to be in good health yourself, but you also need to make sure that your skin is in good health. Number 3, arriving to us with sun skin damage to have your eyebrow tattoo done is an absolute no-no. Your body is doing its best to repair the sun damage that has happened as a result. People who are outdoors a lot, people who are gardening, people who work with horses, people who are athletics, they are outdoors a lot and don't always wear an SPF. Therefore, your body is doing the best it can in order to be able to protect you from sun damage. Some people don't wear SPF, and those results are going to be they're going to fade faster for starters, but it is considered a challenging skin. Ruddy skins, people who are outdoors a lot. I mean, outdoors is wonderful, but from aesthetics, from being outdoors, you really do need to wear your SPF. The area of the tattoo is a high movement rate. So, I mean, if you're an eyebrow talker, you have a high movement rate. Therefore, that brings a lot of blood volume to that area. Therefore, the turnover is going to be that little bit faster. It seems as if, you know, it's barely worth mentioning, but it is worth mentioning. And any area that's used quite a bit, I'm an eyebrow talker myself, I'm also a hand talker, but those areas actually do use the muscles and the blood flow and the skin movement a lot. Therefore, you're going to end up with, that area sort of being used quite a bit. Therefore, that actually in itself then could affect the pigment retention. So oftentimes what we would do in that instance is that we would suggest that maybe you'll go for a darker pigment, but if you're shy and retiring type, stay with the lighter. So what can we do to fix this? Look, all pigments fade, and that is why you are welcomed back to us once a year in order to have what we call an annual colour boost, where we drop more of the pigment into the fading eyebrows so that we can freshen them up a bit. That's the first thing. It's a good thing, coming back once a year, because oftentimes, particularly women, you could change the colour of your hair. You might decide to go from a darker colour to grey, for example, or if you have chemotherapy, sometimes your eyebrows might come back a totally different colour if they do come back, or your head hair could come back a totally different colour along with lovely chemo curls. But it does fade with time. The pigment is designed to fade. We use an inorganic pigment here, and with sun exposure and UV exposure, it's designed to fade, and it will fade even faster with UV and sun exposure. So it's always our eyebrows are always exposed. So unless you walk out of your home every single day with a peak cap on, which might be the case if you were living in a warm climate or if you're living in the States, our eyebrows are in a very, very unique position on our face, and it's where the light hits, because you've got that orbital curve here. So therefore our nose, our chin and our eyebrow areas, they are exposed all the time, and the first things that the light hit from the sun point of view. So if you are not a person who wears SPF every single day, or if you are that person who wears a hat every single day going from the house to the car, for example, or if you're outdoors all the time, yes, your eyebrows are exposed. Here in Ireland, do we wear hats all the time? Gosh, no. We're hard pressed to actually get people to wear SPF. I know that Sherna has a lot of problems getting them to wear SPF to protect their skin. So, and we want you to protect your eyebrows as well. So SPF under your moisturiser, then put on your moisturiser, which may have SPF in it, but in a diluted form. So that's another layer. So other tattoo areas in your body, like an eyeliner, that area is actually covered and protected by your brow bone and your eyebrow hair and your eyelashes actually. So they fade much more slowly. Your eyebrow area with your SPF, with your hat and so on, don't expect it to actually perform in an area that is the cat. Sorry, that was one of my 3 cats, Lisa, looking for attention. Anyway, one thing to note about the eyebrows is that the tails tend to hold the pigment a bit longer than the heads of the eyebrows, and that is because there's very little movement in the tails. It's this part moves and the arches move, and the tail kind of doesn't move as much. Therefore, you'll find that the tails will probably last that little bit longer. The skin there is a little bit thinner as well, and it tends to, we use a very light touch on the tails, so that the tails tend to hold the pigment longer than the body, the bulb or the arch of the brow. So the front part tends to drop pigment and fade faster due to the high level of movement by the brow musculature. Right, I hope that helps. So that is part 3 of the series, and I will deal with the next part tomorrow. Okay.